Peter Andre's been tipped for a top 3 comeback this weekend. It's a new single. It's called Behind Closed Doors. He's not behind closed doors this morning. He's here in the studio, out in the open. And, well, you know, Peter, you're everywhere. You're all over the newspapers and whatever. And again today, how are you coping with this? Is this a help or a hindrance in promoting your music?
No, I actually think it's becoming an extreme hindrance because things are just being said that are just completely untrue. I mean, it's getting to the point where I'm waking up one morning and saying, why did this guy say that? And the guy that they're saying said it is me.
Yes.
Now, look, this is the industry we're in. I understand it. But on the Daily Star yesterday, front cover, there was a this thing, apparently me being derogatory about Kate,
yes,
who is the mother of my children at the end of the day. I never said any of it. I looked in the camera yesterday. I said it. I'll look again. I did not say anything categorically. Today, there's a rebuttal.
Yes.
And now she's saying something about me, and it goes on and on and on. And these kids do not need to be subjected to this. Now, I've only ever rebutted to things that are to do with the children, or to do with something that's in the public domain. For example, how I felt about pictures of Katie in Ibiza, and I'd say how I feel about that. You know, if I thought it was disgusting pictures, I'd say it's disgusting pictures.
Yes.
However, I never go out and say, my wife is this, my wife is that.
But you see what it's saying now, you see this headline this morning, they're saying, Katie is saying, when you attack her, you dismiss her, it's a form of abuse.
You know what? I'm going to go one out here and say that if I expect people not to believe what I apparently said on the front cover yesterday, then I ask them not to believe what they read that she said.
And look
today.
at these front covers. Look at these headlines. I mean, every day, and they sell newspapers. I mean, that's what it's all about. So you think it's a bit of a hindrance at the moment because you know you're trying to talk about music and. You know, I know Katie's mother watches Sunrise. I'm not sure if Katie does or not, but her mum I met recently, and she said she watches us every morning there. What would you say? Is there any truce or anything you'd like to invoke here? Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just think, at the end of the day, we've got 3 children. Yes, of course, because at the moment I'm publicising my record, I'm being asked questions that aren't to do with that. I understand that, so therefore, whatever's discussed ends up being more news than the fact that you've got a record out. It's absolutely fine. However, we have got 3 children. It is ridiculous. This shouldn't be becoming a mudslinging match. And especially if what's been written isn't right, it shouldn't be. I just think enough is enough.
Well, whatever is being written, it seems to be, more people seem to be on your side. I mean, when I was telling people you were coming in today, you just get this universal, I like him, or poor Peter, and whatever.
I appreciate that, but I really don't think there should be any sides. At the end of the day, we've got 3 kids in the middle of all of this, and there shouldn't be any sides. You know, I don't want any bad things about her. I don't want any bad things about me. I know we're in the public eye, and I know we have to accept it. But I just want to say, I just think, you know, enough's enough. What's been written, a lot of it is wrong, and it's not nice.
Hopefully what is nice is your new single, Behind Closed Doors. We're going to have a look and a listen at that.
I wouldn't mind if it was right, but...
Yeah, no.
You'd figure this out by now. That our lives would be so exposed. Where we end up, really nobody knows. What do we know? What do we know?
You know, I was going to stop talking about Katie at this stage, Peter, but then I'm looking at that video and I'm thinking, that looks very like her in that. Is that deliberate or is that an accident?
No. Well, I guess it's all done in a bit of tongue-in-cheek. Basically, I'm a fashion photographer for these high-fashion models, and I think there's something wrong with my film, but I'm not. It's a bit like the Stepford Wives, where these women aren't really women.
Yes.
They're more like possessed. I mean, you could look at it any way you want to, but it was just a bit of tongue-in-cheek.
This could be a movie instead of a music video, I'll tell you that. Do you know, they say with a lot of artists that their lives, and in your case, I suppose your troubles at the moment, could be reflected in their music. Is that the case with you?
I mean, there's no doubt that a lot of what I'm writing now is personal. Back earlier on when I used to write some songs which some of them I'll admit were rubbish. You know, they were more melody-based than they were lyrical-based. And when you write songs just melody-based, they can be very poppy, cheesy. But when you start kind of wanting to up your game a bit, you have to write lyrics that people can kind of either relate to, or they can kind of get to understand you a bit better. So I'm now writing a completely different way. For once, I feel like I've just grown up a little bit.
You see, how can you write at all? I mean, any of us, you know, everybody's had domestics in their life, and when your personal life's not good, it's difficult to concentrate, it's difficult to give your work 100%. Was it difficult to actually get into the recording studio and pen some music?
Well, I was writing a lot of these songs like letters. I said this because this has been going on for over a year, and some of the situations were, some of the songs were actually basically saying, hoping for a resolve, because you know, things weren't always rosy for the last year or whatever. So some of them weren't a finish. They were more like, let's get it back to how it was.
How it was. How it was. You used to be out there performing. You're certainly back in the recording studio now in this album, and then there's the single coming out first of all. And what about performing?
I would love to tour. Now, you know, I know how big an Elvis fan you are.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he is the man. And I've always loved watching performers, the legends. And I've always thought, you know, it was always my dream to get on stage in a much smaller scale, obviously.
Yes.
But now my sights are set on touring next year. It's what I would eventually love to do.
On Sunday, I'm going to see an Elvis performers concert in Belfast, so I am. And I've booked the top man in the world from a birthday party. I have to tell you all about him later. But, I mean, what an influence Elvis is there
he's
in
the best.
music and the performance.
We're mere mortals, us little people in the industry trying to chip away, and we've got the legends to look at, you know.
Well, I tell you, whatever your troubles in life, it's always nice that music makes us smile. Very nice seeing you, Peter.
You too,
We've got to
Ian.
leave
Thank
it
you
there.
very
Good
much.
luck to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much indeed.